Self-reflection is essential to forgiveness because you've got to ask yourself, did I do the work? Did I put my best foot forward? Did I do everything that I could within my power to be able to reach my goals? Welcome back to Teacher Tales, where we give you the keys to overcoming teacher burnout to find work-life balance and educational bliss, if it still exists. On this Socratic Sessions episode of Teacher Tales, St. Rose and I unlock lessons in creating a culture of forgiveness for yourself and others through first gaining insights into understanding how forgiveness plays a crucial role in the teaching journey, then learning about the significance of self-reflection in the pursuit of forgiveness, and finally, uncovering practical strategies for fostering forgiveness in the teaching community. Without further ado, where's the bell? Rose,
Yep.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
My dog, St. Rose. I think that's always how I address you, my dog.
It's nothing wrong with that, man. My dog, nothing wrong with that.
That kind of goes to what we're talking about in this Socratic session, where there are no perfect teachers. Everybody's got their own style, their own flavor
Oh yeah.
to how they do things. And I guess let's start out like, what would you describe? Like if there was a perfect teacher, pie in the sky, this is the best and the biggest and the baddest, like what would that teacher look like?
To my understanding, that teacher is technically doing nothing.
Ooh.
Technically doing nothing.
I did not expect that. Okay.
Just because, man, you know, we go off that T-test. We go off that T-test kind of
Right.
rubric.
Our evaluation.
Oh,
type
yeah.
of deal.
Every year, it's always based off of that. And the best scores you can make is when the classroom is student-led. You know, when the classroom is more student-orientated than teacher doing a lot of stuff. So the perfect pie in the sky type of thing is you walk in the room and then it's like the teacher's kind of just, just walk in with a clipboard or something and kids are just busy writing this down, talking to this person, grabbing this, going, yeah. That's the perfect visual, I would think. What do you think?
Hey, that was good. That was good. I'm not gonna lie.
Dome. Yeah, man.
So I would say the perfect teacher has everything planned.
Oh yeah.
Everything is already perfectly planned out. Everything is paced perfectly, right? Because we're talking about being perfect, air quotes, perfect teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is already created. Every resource that the student would possibly need is already in the classroom. Every individual student need is already planned for within the lesson. Mm-hmm. There's a blend of projects, maybe some kind of there's definitely some independent learning. Mm-hmm. And then there are also tests to evaluate what the students have learned. And then, like you said, there is a lot of student-led discussion or projects. They're making stuff. They're tangible things. They're people reading. So that's what the classroom would look like. The perfect teacher is also a sponsor of something academic.
Oh man, that's
so
a perfect teacher right there.
There's a social element to this person as well. So they sponsor a club. They're a leader on campus. Mm-hmm. Okay, this person is also a department head because as the perfect teacher, you then have to try to replicate what you do in other people. Mm-hmm. That's what a teacher does. Mm-hmm. So what better way to do that than to lead other teachers? And a great way to do that is as a department head. But this perfect teacher is also a coach.
Oh, man.
Because I believe that the physical aspect is something that is also ignored a lot of times. Like if you don't fit in a sport like football or basketball or something, then where do you get that physical, how are you challenged physically? Which is not just going to help you to be like this great, player of a sport, but also for your physical well-being. Mm-hmm. Because you know how to push yourself physically. You know what your tip-top shape looks like. Like, so because we're both athletes and we trained, especially, through high school, you in college, like, what like your peak physical form looks and feels like inside and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you ever get to a point where you're not at that and you've gotten far away from it,
Mm-hmm.
you at least have a frame of reference
Mm-hmm.
how to get back there. You're like, okay, this is what I should look and feel like when I'm taking care of myself. So I think that people who have never played a sport, they've never had to push themselves physically, for a competition or whatever else. So this teacher would also be a coach. Maybe it's powerlifting, right? Because now we're just talking about strengthening the body and being disciplined and then really making sure you are eating the right things, right? Which is what you have to do as you get older. You got to continue to strengthen yourself. So whether that's lifting weight or body exercises, you have to be mindful of what you eat. I think that was something that I had to start doing maybe at like 29. I feel like at 29, I was like,
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
It's changing. Like I never got like big, right? I never had a gut or anything, but it was a little different than 25.
Yeah, man, the types of food that you're eating for sure. But I want to say around like 20. Yeah, I'll say I'll go down to 28. I said 28. That's when I was like, let me stop doing all the sugary stuff.
Yeah. Too much McDonald's, too many hot spices with cheese.
Too many hot spices. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a ball. Do they have to be a coach on campus?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Because we're talking about the teacher.
Yeah,
so
teacher,
we're talking education.
Yeah,
This is the perfect teacher. They have every role covered.
Damn,
they are the best.
Teacher.
They're a mentor.
Man,
not just a department head.
How does this teacher have so much time to handle all this perfect ability, man?
This person, they would have to be married with kids too. Let me tell you why though.
Okay.
Because you know this, being married gives you a different perspective than being a single person. And then you'll notice soon, having kids gives you a different perspective than somebody who does not have kids.
That's true too.
So if I'm creating, right, now this person obviously does not exist.
Okay.
No way. There's no way possible.
You talking about the perfect
this
person.
Is perfect pie in the sky.
Yeah.
So this person will be able to have the perspective of a parent and a married person. This person would be a leader of kids, a leader of adults, an amazing teacher with great structure and great planning abilities and great charisma. What would this teacher teach?
That's a solid question. I don't know why I'm leaning towards English, but
okay, this is tough. Okay, I think this teacher would teach sophomore English.
Yeah. English, you're gonna have a lot of conversation back and forth, a lot of stories.
It's very open.
English is more open. English is more conversation. Yeah, I'm gonna go with English.
There's a lot of different ways you can go.
A lot of ways.
This teacher also, they don't quite want to get freshmen, but they do want to get the kids while they're younger. That's why I said 10th grade. Because now you can mold them. You can see them through 11th and 12th grade and be that sounding board and that voice and maybe sponsor their clubs and that kind of stuff.
Ooh-wee.
Okay, so that's how I would define the perfect.
Yeah.
Every base covered.
Yeah, that's good.
Teacher, but obviously we all have to beg for forgiveness for not being that teacher.
Yeah. That's a high standard that just got set right there.
That standard is impossible.
It is.
And I think like that's what people are asking us to do.
That is a fact, man. I'm glad you brought it to that. You kind of brought it right there. They want us to be that. I
feel like this is a more maybe geared towards parents. That's the lens I'm thinking of it from, because I feel like they want us to teach their kids everything. What is one of those things for you where you go like, why am I supposed to teach you that? Like, what are your parents doing? I have something very specific, but you can go first.
I'll start off with reading, man, with reading skills. They like a parent can say, my kid didn't understand this part of the lesson or this part of the homework. And I can rebuttal and say, well, the instruction says that I want them to circle the word that they've never seen before. And I need them to, blah, blah, blah with this and blah. there's sometimes, well, there's the issue that I'm having actually is when I give the kid an assignment and it's clear as day what I need you to do, what I want you to do. But because there's too many letters on that page, hand raised, I don't know.
Did you read it?
But did you read it? Is where
And then they're not gonna say I can't read, Mr. St.
they're
Rose.
not saying that.
I'm a ninth grader and I can't read.
I feel like it's not that the parents want us to teach them how to read again, but it's kind of like, well, they're in your class now, so I mean, they might not be able to read, but they're in your class now, so fix them.
Not fix them.
Yeah, man. I'm leaning towards that.
Yeah.
Reading skills. Yeah, I'm going with that, man. I'm going with that.
So obviously we're framing this all by forgiveness. You want to ask question number 2?
Yeah, for sure. In what ways do you think the pressure to be a perfect teacher affects educators? And how might forgiving oneself play a role in alleviating this pressure?
Okay, so I'm not the perfect teacher. What do I do? Do I run myself in the ground trying to be the perfect teacher? Or do I throw my hands up and go, hey, I can't do all that stuff? And I think that forgiveness is important for yourself.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of expectations on teachers from students, from parents, from admin, from your appraiser, even from other teachers, from department heads. Everybody's got expectations on what we are supposed to do. And so a lot of times we have to realize our imperfections and go, you know what, I don't have all of this stuff. I will do my best. I will try to get better, but hey, I can't be perfect. And I'm not going to beat myself up over that. Like, have you ever had to deal with something like that where you just felt weighed down by the expectations, maybe of, I don't know who it came from, but you felt weighed down by some expectations of yourself as a teacher?
I was going to say that. I was going to say, as far as that pressure goes, when they walk into your room, whether it be a boss or whether it be some type of leader on campus or something.
Yeah.
And they only see about 15 minutes. They only see about 10 minutes. But then they hit you with the, how come this wasn't there? How come I didn't see this? And where was this? And what's that? So yeah, you as a teacher are like, okay, now I'm still getting used to my class. You can have I'm not gonna call it excuses, but you have all of the reasons why they didn't see what they saw, but you cannot beat yourself up about what was said. It's more like I'm going through it. I'm trying to make sure that I hit all the checkpoints, but the pressure of how come this is not here? Where is this? Where is that? That does affect us as educators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they walk in your room, you're like, oh snap. Debo.
Debo, let me tuck my chain in because the AP's in here. But one thing, that's funny you say that. One thing that comes to mind is that the kids know, man. It's something that always is said. The kids know when you're trying to
play front on. They're like,
show a game.
Rose, you never tuck your shirt in. Why
you never tuck your shirt in? You never start off with this type of sentence, Mr. St. Rose.
Mr. St. Rose, you don't talk like that. Mr. Franklin, why are you talking like that?
So yeah, never try to put on no show, but there is a pressure that is put on teachers when that expectation is out there. And you might not have the right kids. You might not have the certain kids that do what the APs want, you know? And, us as teachers, we're trying our best to get them right.
It's funny. You brought that up. And so I'm just kind of thinking about all of the times where, somebody's walking in the room and they like, all right, they got their laptop open. You're like, all right. And I try to pride myself on like, man, I ain't changing nothing for them, man. We gonna do what we do. Like, I've got this plan on. If you want to see my plans, you want to see what we did yesterday, you want to see what we're going to do tomorrow, like, then we could talk about it. But when they come in for that 10 to 15 minutes and then later on they start asking these questions like, what was this? What was that? What was this? What was that? And I think it's important for us to not go straight to defense mode.
Don't do it. I agree.
Don't go straight to defense mode because now you look guilty. I think it's more important to be able to explain. you know, because it may not always be like something that's bad. They just want to know, like, okay, well, I was doing this that day. Like, where was this part? And if you have the explanation, like, okay, well, this is where we are in the project, or this is where we are in the curriculum, in the testing plan, whatever you got. I think that is more of what they want to know. At least if you got somebody that's
understanding,
right, not trying to get you.
Yeah, not trying to get you.
Not trying to get you. You can just kind of walk them through it. And so I think that I have been blessed to have APs that weren't trying to get me.
Yeah.
And so I would say that I put the work in. Like, they know the person that's in the classroom. You know, so I feel like your reputation is going to stand for you in those kind of situations.
In those situations, like you said, put the work in. You at least show them that you get more good checks, more positive checks than negative
now,
ones.
if you're missing everything.
Yeah, you got a problem. You developing everything. Yeah, you can't be messing up on everything. But at least show them more positive checks than the negative ones, and it always play in your favor. It should play in your favor.
It should.
Yeah, it should.
Unless you got somebody that's out to get you.
Yeah.
How prevalent do you think that is? Because, you know, a lot of people, they're like, man, so-and-so just don't like me. Like, so-and-so, they just this or that, you know.
Man, it's only so much, or it's only so far where you can use the they don't like me kind of sentence.
Yeah.
Because you're right. They probably don't like you.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't. But at least the things that you're doing within your classroom, your structure or whatever your type of routine that you have going kind of trumps or takes over the I don't like part.
Right. It's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Like, yeah, you got all this stuff up on the board. You was doing this. You was in the power zone. You was all of this. Like, even if they don't like you, you got everything.
But you know what you're talking about. You know, the kids love you. You can say, hey, everybody. And you don't hear nothing in the classroom. At least I can show you that.
Right.
You
I
don't
can
like
hit that bell. Ding, everybody be quiet.
Classroom
management.
I established something correctly here. I know you don't like me, but look at what I can do. Yeah.
Okay, so when I read this question, I thought of parents, of course. But how does the societal expectations of perfection in education contribute to the difficulty teachers face in forgiving themselves for their shortcomings or mistakes? I thought of like the Facebook groups, how they be going in on schools or teachers or districts. How do you feel like that societal expectation of what teachers are supposed to be has contributed to like teachers burnout and work-life balance?
Yeah, trying to compare how we learned when we were in high school.
Yes.
And comparing it to what it is now. Society has changed. Technology has been introduced in the classroom a lot more. And you can't just can't stick to the old, here's a book, read it, let's take a test.
Take a test.
That's it.
It ain't gonna work.
If you still teach that way, you're probably not the best teacher on campus.
You definitely not the perfect teacher.
You definitely not the perfect teacher. But that plays a part, man. Gotta adapt, gotta change, gotta be able to see what the kids want now and change your lessons or enhance your lessons.
There you go.
To make it work now. So I feel like just comparing old school teaching with the new school teaching, that's the shortcomings and mistakes that teachers are making right now. What you think about that?
I think that people are starting to get an inside look because of social media.
Yeah.
Of what teachers actually go through and like the questions these kids ask and how much they know or don't know. And so like that's part of the reason why we're here today.
Yeah.
Because I do like to be able to pull the curtain back to tell people like, yeah, teaching is what you make it.
Yeah.
And then the situation that you're in is definitely going to affect like the climate that you have to walk into every day, you know, because every school is not the same. Every district is not the same. So a friend of mine was saying, is it me or is it education? She moved schools, moved districts. She's
happy with her job.
Yeah. More
You
help.
know, so I think that the expectation that's put on us, it is weighing a lot of teachers down.
Mhm.
But I also feel like social media has kind of given us an outlet to show people
Yeah.
this is what is happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, we are not making this stuff up. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Times have changed.
the problem comes in when your style or your type of routines, are they benefiting the kid? Are you just going through the day? Are you just saying, all right, y'all, here's a warm up, write your name down on this, all right,
Here's your worksheet. Don't
here's
bother
your
me.
worksheet, don't leave me alone? Is that what they see in the classroom? Because now now that's a different type of conversation you're having.
Right.
But the forgiveness is there. I feel like the forgiveness at both campuses I worked at, the forgiveness is there. They know that we don't have the best. I'm not gonna say the best. They say we all have the best kids, but
Every school says
every
that.
school
We
has the
have
best kids ever. Yeah,
Like,
but
come on, bro. Stop lying.
they know that teaching doesn't happen in one day. You know what I'm saying? We work at it, we work on it, but they forgive you. I feel like they forgive you. Both campuses. I think we're good.
I think so too. Just because that's been my experience. There's a lot of people who are there to support.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like not everybody. I feel like a lot of people are kind of teaching with one hand tied behind their back.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't have the resources that they need or that they want to be able to do the things that would be the most impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of have to settle and like make the most of what you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you gotta forgive yourself if you
You gotta forgive yourself, man.
You can't
It's
be
a
that
lot.
perfect teacher that I talked about in the beginning.
Let's look at this next question, man. When's the last time that teachers like not go out like outside of school, but like, have lunch together and kind of have those meetings where it's not always about academics. It's just kind of like, are you doing okay? And
Yes.
are you really are you able to get through the day? And
Yeah, how you doing?
yeah, how you doing? Like, I didn't get to see you this morning. What's up? Are teachers still doing that? Because that's also another kind of forgiveness circle,
Right.
in a way.
I think so last year I did that with, there was a couple of teachers. We ate lunch together almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this wall with these pictures on it, and I would color. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat my lunch, but I would just be in there with the color pencils. It's basically like a whole mural of stuff that I colored.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just kind of that was part of us being balanced.
Yeah.
Getting away from the classroom, getting away from the kids. No, don't come knock on my door. We went to the teacher's lounge, and we would just sit and eat and chat, and they would be looking forward to like, okay, what is he gonna color today? Like, how's his scheme gonna work today? I'm telling you, like, we was all bought in.
Yeah.
And so my room moved this year,
Okay.
and it's been like this bittersweet thing because things like that I don't have anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my room is outside. It's on the patio.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, in the old black box.
Got you.
So for everybody who doesn't know what the high school looks like, it's basically on the outside, kind of away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which the people who know me, they was like, you gonna hate that.
Yeah, you ain't gonna like that.
You want to be inside. You want to be with the people. You want to be in the fray. Which is true. But I do have 2 new teachers out there. One is brand new. And then another one, he came from a charter school. I actually had him on. Osman. He's dope.
Dope.
But we have lunch every day.
Gotcha.
And so you got me, who's been at the school for 5 years.
Mm-mm.
You have him, who he's been an educator, but this is a totally different ball game coming from a charter school.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got somebody that's a brand spanking new teacher.
I feel for them sometimes. Yeah.
Man. So like, we're all able to now cultivate like this new circle of forgiveness.
There you go. Hey.
And so
New circle of forgiveness.
we're able to help each other out. And I mean, we do talk about like work-life balance and going home and making sure we just take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you have something like that where you are now?
Slightly. We definitely eat during lunch. Not all of us, but there is a room where, hey, if you're when lunch hits, go to the
come
room.
through. Yeah.
Come through. So I've been doing that. I've been making sure to get out my room, get my steps in, sit down with them, and yeah, we're gonna have our little kind of circle of forgiveness over there too. Like, are we how's the lesson going for you? And well, let's not worry about the lesson. What you doing when you get out of work?
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
okay,
go.
okay. When I get out of work, I'm gonna do blah 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 blah. How much sleep you get? So we're having conversations outside of
Real
school.
conversations.
Yeah, outside of school. Yeah, real conversations. New house, new baby, that kind of stuff. So we're in a sense of not just saying, well, the word forgiveness, but we're having like a little circle where we can just kind of like get everything out and just kind of breathe before we have either one more period or finish the rest of the day. So,
And I think when we build those relationships, people are more understanding because they're like, oh no, that's Rose. Like, he good. This is a one-off.
yeah.
Like, if he did make a mistake, if he did miss something, and then that's my dog. Like, I'm gonna help him out. Like, I think when people stay in their rooms and they never try to cultivate those relationships with other people, I think those are more circumstances where people are like, nah, we don't fool with that person.
Yeah.
Basically, nah, we don't forgive that person if they mess up, if they do something, if they.
I don't know. I don't even know
I
that person.
don't even
so
know
why
that.
would I even try
I know
to
their
forget?
name on the outside of the door. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So the more that we're able to cultivate those relationships with the people that are on our hallways and our departments, and if you are lucky or if you have time, the people outside of our departments, for me, like, that was one of the biggest things. And it helped when I was a sub that I was in every department. I subbed for science, math, social studies, different electives. So before I got hired at the school, I kind of knew a bunch of people already. So I had kind of built those things. I could see how it would be difficult to build those relationships outside of your department without having those opportunities. So do you think it's upon the school to kind of set up more opportunities for teachers to kind of get together?
Well, I mean, some schools do that. Some schools do say, hey, we're going to have our Christmas party. We're going to have our holiday shindig. We're going to stuff like that. And that's cool. Not everybody goes to that, but that's cool. But while you were talking, I was thinking about going to some of the students' athletic games or something like that.
Yeah.
And let's say I'm going to one of my kids' basketball games and, oh, look, there goes that student's math teacher. There goes that student's English teacher.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Such and Such? What's up? And now here I am saying what's up to somebody outside my department.
There you go.
Recognize the face. Go back to school. I see you in the hallway. Hey, you the same dude?
Now I know you.
Now I know you. So, yeah, I feel like you can get to those relationships by doing something like that.
Yeah. So if you just go to work and then go home, you don't do anything.
It's
like you can't expect that bone to be thrown. Like when the time comes, if you ever need it.
It makes it tough, man.
So
you're right.
How does the systematic factors like STAR tests and those kind of things go into like this kind of being able to forgive when you don't meet those kind of benchmarks that we all have to meet?
Yeah. That's tricky, man, because I know some teachers that put a lot of emphasis on their numbers, put a lot the data, like, and if they don't hit that number, now they're beating themselves up.
Right.
They're blaming
somebody
either. And that's a lot of pressure too, man. But all I can say to that is, if you know that you set up certain lessons according to the curriculum, you got some success. You had some kids say, "Hey, look, Mister, I did this, I did well."
Right.
And then you get to that benchmark or you get to that STAR test, and it wasn't the number that you hit, but throughout the time of trying to get there, you hit these little wins. I still feel like you're good, man. I don't feel like the AP or the principal says you can't work here anymore because you didn't hit the number. That's That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Teachers
they
actually
do
are
not
needed.
forgive.
Yeah. But I feel like the little wins that you get before you get to that systematic test or that like big thing, I feel like that's bigger than, I mean, getting to that specific number. I don't know. How
I
you
think
feel?
when you do the work, I think the outcomes typically come with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think this question and the next question about self-reflection,
Mm.
they go together.
Okay.
You know, so like before we get out of here, I think self-reflection is essential.
Yeah.
To forgiveness, because you got to ask yourself, okay, did I do the work? Did I put the work in? Did I put my best foot forward? Did I do everything that I could within my power to be able to reach whatever benchmark or become the teacher that I want to be, or whatever goal that you're striving for? Did I put everything that I had into it that I could? Now, I'm not saying that you need to go over that threshold of being burnt out so that you can reach this, or mess up your whole work-life balance with your family and your kids and your wife or husband to meet this goal. You may need to do that. I think there are exceptional times. Like if we go on a state, I may need to get a little extra practice in. I may need to put in another hour in here or there because of, this exceptional time. But for the most part, if you feel like with the time that you've been given, you've done the best that you can with it, I think it's easier to get to forgiveness.
Yeah.
If you know that you've been a slacker,
Oh yeah.
I think that's when you struggle. Like, dang, I can't forgive myself because I was trash.
Yeah.
I know I was trash.
Yeah, that's the big thing right there. If you know that you was just lollygagging, and when it's time to get to those real numbers and you don't reach those real numbers,
yeah,
the self-reflection,
right.
you gotta tell yourself like, okay, wow, like I did it this way. It was not
it. It was not it. You got to be real with yourself.
You gotta be real, and that's for all teachers.
Yeah,
because I've gone to many PDs where self-reflection is one of the key pieces for teaching. Like you have to, like, if I give a lesson out on a Monday and nobody understands what I'm saying, it's now time for you to change up that lesson or, fix that lesson, come back the next day and either give them an alternate version of that lesson that you did the other day, or scrap whatever you did, scrap that teamwork thing you did, scrap that. And then now let's get back to, lecture with questions and, some type of kinetic something. But self-reflection is big, and self-reflection kind of goes hand in hand with forgiving, self-forgiveness.
I'll tell this one story before we go. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the cheer team.
Okay.
This year.
Yeah.
Just because me and Dominique cool, and I got to get out of my room 7 period because I'm off 7. So I got 1st through 6. It's a long grind.
It's a long grind, man. Oh, wow.
So I got to get out. And so a lot of times I go to the commons. That's where they are. But I've become invested.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm watching the routine. I'm like, nah, you got to do this here. Y'all not hitting right here. Y'all got to be louder.
Yeah.
And so we went to district and was trash. And so the scores came back. It was like, oh, it's time to self-reflect.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
All right, y'all, like, there's only so much that we can do as teachers or as coaches, but at the same time, we got to self-reflect. Like, what are we doing that's not working? What methods are we doing? Is it us? Is it them? I'm sure it's some of both.
Yeah.
But you have to then, like, self-reflect and evaluate. All right, this is what we got back. What are we going to do? Are we going to keep doing the same stuff and keep getting the same results? Or are we going to be better? And then sometimes for teachers, it looks like, all right, if I'm not getting the results that I want, now I may need to seek some outside advice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I don't know.
And it's the different eyes, you know what I'm saying? It's the different eyes to give you perspective. That's why it's always good to have that mentor, man, or have some. It don't even have to be a mentor. It can be your peer, but like, come look at my classroom, man.
Yeah, check this out for me.
Yeah, see what you see, and I'm gonna teach my regular thing, be in the background. The kids don't gotta know that you're in my room, but we'll have a conversation after 30,
Mhm.
40 minutes. And
Yeah.
tell me what you see. We, as teachers, we got to be open to constructive criticism,
Yeah.
man. I'm
It's a-
telling you. You are in your classroom for like an hour, 2 hours or whatever, teaching, talking, blah, blah, blah. And somebody's walking in your classroom and they're like, this is probably one of the worst classrooms I've ever been to. But, I mean, you need somebody to tell you why
Yes.
or tell you their reasons on what they're thinking.
Right. And then you can self-reflect,
Self-reflect.
self-reflect,
Forgive yourself, forgive them for telling you whatever.
telling you suck.
And get back on it, man. It's a
Get back
grind. Being a teacher is a grind, man.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks, St. Rose,
No problem.
coming over, talking about forgiveness.
Yeah,
and just being a teacher, grinding it out. Work-life balance,
We
time
here.
management. We doing it.
Yeah, we doing it.
I hope you all enjoyed that conversation between me and St. Rose, my dog. It's always a pleasure having him on as we provide the keys to unlocking the teacher life you desire. Before we get out of here, remember, an environment that forgives creates a culture of understanding and breeds success for both the teachers and students. We're all on this journey together. Build those relationships with kids and teachers in your building to foster a place of togetherness. Lastly, you can't have self-forgiveness without self-reflection. This allows for some great opportunities to reset and bring forth a better plan for better results, which is always the goal. As always, thank you for listening, keep teaching, keep learning, and I will see you all on the next journey.